going on, everybody? Let me know if you can hear me. Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me know if you can hear me or not. We can get going once I get some confirmation. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Someone can leave a comment. I would appreciate that. Oh, shit. Sorry. Thought I was sharing my screen. Clearly not. All right, I'll ask you. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? Maybe we'll do that. Yes, can hear you. Thank God. Someone heard me and responded. If not, I was about to get off. All right, cool. So SPX trading around 69.07. Remember 69.05, the top of that large iron condor structure. So everyone's probably eagerly awaiting last 30 minutes of trading. Yeah, a ton of people operating in the market right now. Like, your guess is as good as mine where we're going to settle. So, yeah, if you're looking for me to pick where exactly we're going to pin, then, wish you the best of luck. Probably going to disappoint you on that front. I care about, 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Don't care about 9:30 to 10 or 3:30 to 4. So if that rubs you the wrong way, then, well, we're just being honest here. So today, looking at our intraday volume analysis, right? We call this kind of a flat top, right? Sideways to higher, grinding action higher, puts centroids 45-degree angle higher. That's kind of a hallmark of a sideways to higher, move coming on an intraday basis in SPX. Yeah, that's what it's been showing looking at the market trend model. We've been ramping throughout the session. Some filter tick buying coming in, new highs over new lows. So really nothing in the tape today or overall environment is telling us that we should have been short in any kind of manner. Kind of like net short, right? Obviously, if you're loading up on cheap shorts right now for kind of a longer duration trade, then, if that's part of your system, then fine, makes sense. But, on an intraday basis, if you're forcing shorts into this, getting chopped up, draining your account because you have bad trades, then yeah, whatever you're looking at telling you to get short, you should probably reconsider that. Yeah, not really a ton else to say right now. Let me look. Let's see what the pre-market levels we're at. I forget at this point in time. Yeah, we had a post, had a big write-up on the Iron Condor. So if you're not familiar with that, make sure you get in the Discord. We have a big narrative about that, right? We found support, opened 68.67, kind of right in the middle of the structure. Yeah, got to make sense. Broke above pre-market high, broke above prior day high, ramped, pinned right at the top of the junk to the range. So not crazy action here today. Looking at individual tickers now. See Apple, holding opening print, push up the pre-market high, makes sense. Google, Amazon all ramping, Tesla showing weakness on the day. Opening print's an important level. Yeah, 60. I define it more as the top of the structure between 6,900 and 6,905. 6,900 key psychological level, but you had the IC structure in place today with the confluence of that. Tesla failing at the opening print. Opening print's key level. In addition to the gamma delta levels we focus on, gamma edge, looking at the pre-market high, prior day high, opening print, all that makes sense. If you can't make it above the opening print, then why would you be bullish on a name and opposite to the downside? Microsoft. I just don't have the script loaded up here. I could get it loaded up if we wanted to. I'll do that real fast. It takes me just a second to do. So I'll just look at the same script I download most days. It's the 845 script. Get that. Trading views always changing. Where they put this stupid spine editor at. It's right here. Bam. Loaded up NVIDIA, right? Making a move up to plus Gex. Tesla, it's at all-time highs, not able to get above P-Trans today, but held at COTMP. COTMP is often a very key level for individual equities on an intraday basis. Especially kind of a name that's in a bullish regime, just a little bit of intraday pullback, oftentimes sees a lot of support at COTMP. So it makes a lot of sense. Just for reference, that's kind of the balance point in the structure where, cumulative in the money, out of money puts start to flip, see monetization at that level, all that good stuff. So looking at Palantir, not much to say there. AMD, Hood, able to get above P-Trans or zero Gex, sorry. Negative trend, that's good to see, but not to say on that name right now. Apple above P-Trans, Amazon above P-Trans. Nice move today. Had confluence with pre-market low P-Trans. Nice move higher. Google, a name I got in today actually. It's continuing to move up nicely. Microsoft consolidating a little bit. It's below the 50-day moving average. Yes, we do some technicals. Or I pay attention to them. A lot of people pay attention to them. Why? Because the market pays attention to them. So, whether you think technical analysis price action is voodoo magic or not, a lot of professionals you even see on Twitter are talking about moving averages and whatnot. So probably makes sense at least to, incorporate that just a little bit. You don't got to live and die by moving average crosses and all that good stuff. These are kind of like institutional momentum points is kind of how I think about it. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Oracle coming up to its P-Trans level. You see it kind of struggling today, getting above that. Let's see if we can reclaim that. Broadcom, Meta starting to look better, finally getting above its P-Trans level. So it's, worth getting on the watch list. Take a look at that. Uber still looks like death. Coin looks like death. ExxonMobil looks fine. JPM looks fine, making all-time highs. XYZ, this is another name that I got in yesterday. Kind of nice consolidation. Again, it was below kind of the institutional minimum line, so I didn't love that. Lost P-Trans, but held 0 GEX. Looking like we're going to get above P-Trans, or we're kind of right at P-Trans. So no reason to freak out. I have my stop below the swing low right here on the daily charts, which corresponds with 0 GEX. So we'll see what happens there. But the trade structure, right, it just needs to hold 64. As long as I hold 64, I'll make money in it. So not super concerned. Visa, another name I'm also in, actually, holding this area, above P-Trans, above plus GEX, up near, or P-Trans, 0 GEX, up near plus GEX. So again, this trade just needs to hold above 340, 345, and it's making money. So no issues there. Yeah, not sure if anyone has any questions. Let me know. If not, I'll just ramble a little bit longer, then we'll call it a day. I think this is the last full session of the year, I believe. Or next week we'll probably have a full, yeah. So half day tomorrow, closed, half day Friday, probably full day Monday, full day Tuesday, half day Wednesday, I think closed for New Year's Day, probably half day Friday. Be sure to check that, diligent trades, all that good stuff. So yeah, we're just freaking pinned right at 69.07. Captain Condor is probably sweating his boots right now. So yeah, I don't know. That'd be crazy if lost today and doubled down and came back again tomorrow. I don't think we'd ever seen that size from him. If him and his posse were to do that again, I guess we'll see. Yeah, IWM, flirting just with the opening print all day, chopping, quite a very, very, very difference. A ton of relative weakness in IWM today. Relative to everything you see, is flirting with right priority low, pre-market low. Can't get above the opening print. That's pretty interesting. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can see equal weight tech, down on the day. QQQ is obviously up on the day side. Tells me that mega cap's probably doing a lot of the heavy lifting, which it looks like it is. Small cap's getting smoked. Looking at the sectors. And look at Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin at? BTC USD. Bitcoin, this thing looks like death too, kind of. It's starting to consolidate a little bit, making higher lows. So that's, somewhat good to see. I would like to look at MSTR. MSTR looks like complete death. Not sure if anyone knows the level out there where, things start to get really tricky in terms of their capital stack and leverage and potentially forced selling assets and whatnot. Be interested to hear that, because they got to be feeling some major heat right now. Probably not the happiest of Christmases for them, but such is life. But yeah, just going back to this, right? Probably a pin somewhere between 69.14, 6900. I know that's not super helpful, but we're also not interested in putting trades on the last 19 minutes of the session here. So again, not sure if there's any questions. Just showing the web app real quick. A couple new updates we made. Yesterday, we pushed out this heat map feature. So this is just an easy way to quickly see kind of where the meaningful, through the distribution of speculation, seeing where the meaningful speculation lies in terms of expirations. You can also click on, the quartiles. So, the top 25%, middle, lower middle, bottom. You can see all that. So the top 25% of expirations represent 80% of total exposure, stuff like that. So it's just helpful to look at that. Yeah, I mean, the structure looks like this right now just because of the open, the open iron condor. So that's why, remember all the grease collapsing to zero as we head into the end of the session, all that good stuff. So yeah, kind of what I got right now. Not seeing much feedback in the comments, so not sure if you guys are just. I expect a lot of people are not staring at the screen on Christmas Eve at 3:45 in the afternoon. But here we are, right in the trenches, as they say. Just go through some names. Google continue looks fine. Apple, holding P-Trans corresponding to 50-day looks fine. MU all-time highs, kind of extended above plus Gex. Palantir looks fine, making a break above. I mean, look at that hold of the opening print, like to the penny, back up to the pre-market highs. That's pretty amazing. Rocket Labs. Wow, this thing is skyrocketed. Not sure if there's news on that or not. Lilly. I mean, had a heck of a move. Walmart. Parabolic move. Starting to see a little bit of sell-off here. Something interesting to look at Walmart probably is yeah, so something interesting in Walmart is like look at the decrease in speculation before spot price melted lower, right? So the GEX ratio is a measure of cumulative call gamma relative to cumulative put gamma. So think of it as a put to call ratio, but it's superior in our opinion because there's a time component via gamma. So, it gives kind of relevance to the short-term option structure. And so we can see, right, the change in positioning, all that good stuff. And right, it was starting to really peak out as we were starting to make new highs. Notice how we were making new highs in price, but the ratio did not make new highs. And then, really started to kind of sell off. And then the stock itself started to sell off. And, it's a very good ratio, very good, powerful tool, especially when stocks are going parabolic. You can kind of see that point where in order to sustain that parabolic move, right, you need that incremental buyer to come in. And this is a good way of looking under the hood to show you if that incremental buyer is coming into the market or not. So useful tool there. Right, that's kind of the benefit of the options market. Like, I don't know, some guy on Twitter was like, I don't know, what's like the point of your stuff or whatever. And it's like, well, there's one thing if you turn your car on and you hear a knock or you hear a weird noise and be like, oh, that's weird. It's kind of like what just staring at a price chart is. But then like if you want to diagnose the issue of what's happening, you look under the hood, right? You take it to a mechanic, take it to a garage. And so that's kind of how we think about the options market too, right? Because so much of the market structure has shifted to primary speculation occurring in the options market. So, we find it pretty powerful if you have a little bit of an understanding of what's happening within the options market itself. You don't have to trade options, right? But, at least just understanding what positioning looks like. Good confluence with TA analysis, other types of trade methodologies and all that good stuff. Citi, parabolic move up to plus GEX COI, taking profits. Not surprising we failed at that level. JPM, nice move. AppLovin, Berkshire, SNDK, I think that's a crypto stock. ASDS, I think it's a crypto stock. Merck, Warner Brothers, American Airlines. I don't have as much interest in these stocks. Something that we need to help us narrow this to watch list for, individual swing trades is. Here's a scatter plot that we post in the morning. These are for call-dominated scatter plots, which are call-dominated stocks as opposed to put-dominated stocks. Call-dominated stocks are those ones that have a bullish foundation, generally have a better chance of making a constructive move higher as opposed to a put-dominated stock. And then what we like to look at is kind of the spot price relative to P-Trans, which is our key upside acceleration zone, and plus GEX, which is our key upside target, right? And so looking at this green box is something I manually draw called the strike zone. These are stocks that have good risk to reward in terms of, not a smaller move to the downside as relative to its potential move to the upside. So that's the stocks we're really interested in. So, you can look at IBM, Apollo, APO, Amgen, XBI, Gap, MasterCard, KMI, so it's important to see the number of stocks here, but also kind of what sectors are in here, right? Do we have kind of those, tech stocks, high beta stocks? Do we have defensive names? All that good stuff. So kind of important to understand that as well. Then stocks under here are stocks under P-Trans. So if we're able to catch it moving through P-Trans, that could be useful as well, right? So there's something to keep in mind. Roku was like right on P-Trans plus GEX line this morning, kind of showing you right here. This is a good example. So right, kind of 110 or even, 109.5. See a lot of respect for that level on an intraday basis. So, probably key level of risk against. And then, if we were to take out, current day highs as an example, I'm just going to mark that on the chart. Then potentially we could see a move, we have speculation building up maybe all-time high at 115. So that's the way that you can use that chart to really help you, right, focus, narrow on specific stocks, taking the thousands of possibilities of stocks and narrowing it to, right, 5, 10 kind of actionable ideas. Hopefully that's more manageable for you. Let's see where SPX is at, and then we'll call it a day. So I'm just looking at yeah, I saw the glimpse of a little heat map we're working on. Everyone's got a heat map. We got a different spin on it. So, it's in development. I'll let you know when it's ready. Last thing I'll probably say about this is, right, we've added a few things, right? This is not necessarily applicable to trading per se, but, allow the ability for customized themes and whatnot. So, like colorblind friendly, you got high contrast, ability to customize it with whatever colors you want. I just like the classic view, but right, everyone kind of likes their own thing. So we got that. Last thing I will say is GammaEdge.us. For those, new to Gamma Edge, new to options market analysis, whatever it may be. One of the things that we do at Gamma Edge is we put all of our education up on our site for free. So we don't gatekeep anything in those regards. So Gamma Edge FastPass is the entire education portal that people of the community get as well. So it's all of the education around our tools, strategies, frameworks, kind of giving you an overview of why we think Gamma Edge matters, and then the tools that we use to take advantage of the options market positioning. All this is explained here. Yes, it's going to take a little bit of effort to get through because it's going to be a new concept for a lot of you guys, but as hundreds of members in the community can attest, it's worth your while to learn this stuff because, as I said earlier, the options are only getting more important, not less important. And so, yeah, that's kind of all I got to say about that, right? Just sign up there. Yes, you need your email address because that's how we email you the course. We email you, articles each day, making sure you're staying engaged with the course, completing it, all that good stuff. So with that, I really don't have anything else. You guys have, Merry Christmas, good New Year. If we don't talk before that, we'll be on, probably in the morning just for the pre-market prep, half day, all that good stuff. But with that, appreciate your all's time as always. And right now, SPX is trading at 6. Oh yeah, we have our market trend model, the cumulative tick now in TradingView as well. So all members get that. So if you're a member, you don't know how to access that, just let us know in the Discord. Happy to give that to you. Yeah, looks like SPX is right at 69.05. So going to be exciting into the close. So you have a good rest of your day. We'll talk later.